How y'all start? Sometimes if I'm rolling it, I've got to wait till the dew dries out. We still got to be able to get everything, house check, equipment service, all those type of things. What time it is?
I think somewhere else you're like, we'll see.
One ugly shirt.
You're gonna get on camera. You're gonna be on camera with that shirt. Hey, it's baseball season. What are you talking about? Boys are farting on baseball all year round. So you can't beat the ball. No. Yeah, pick him up. Pick him up. Hey, but I ain't seen you. I've never seen him. All right.
Appreciate everyone coming out tonight. Our invitation tonight will be by Commissioner Richard Harsh, and our pledge of the American flag by Commissioner David Collins.
Please bow your heads. Lord, thank you for bringing us here safely tonight. Please give us guidance as we make decisions for the people of our county. Lord, give us patience so that we might work together in unity. May all that we do be pleasing in your sight. Through Christ's name I pray, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May be seated. Ms. Rita, would you call our roll, please?
Beverly Atwood here, Mary Ann Baker here, Tim Buckman,
Here.
Jane Burton,
Here.
Gary Clary,
Here.
Boyd Dickey,
Here.
Bill Burton,
Here.
Jerry Ford,
Here.
Elder Gregory, Richard Hart,
Here.
Dwight Jewell,
Here.
Richard Johnson, here, Rachel Jones, here, David Nolan,
Here.
Amber Russell, here, Lonnie Taylor,
Here.
Terry Walsh,
Here.
Steve Whitaker,
Here.
Steve Cole,
Nine for a majority vote.
On budget, I think.
Have majority report,
Nine would be a majority.
not, you can have majority of 20.
That would be the majority of body present. A majority of. I know on the budget, we will just elect,
Yeah.
but
On that, we will.
on the commission vote, I think that would be nine.
Right.
Is first order of business is approval of minutes from the April 26th commission meeting. They've been distributed. Are there any additions, corrections, deletions? Commissioner Wallace? Mr. Walsh makes a motion, Ms. Jones has a second. A motion and a second to approve the minutes. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It is done. Announcements, in the way of announcements, at your table tonight, you should have a conflict of interest statement. Looks like this in that packet. If you or anyone in your immediate family, a spouse or children, or an employee of the county, and that includes the schools, will need to read this before you vote when it comes to the budget. Any questions on that? Also, there were several things that, well, we'll get into that. We'll get into Tennessee County Service Administration is this week, starting tomorrow through Thursday. Myself, Mayor is going, and Commissioner Taylor and Commissioner Jones are the four that will be representing us at this year's meeting. Appreciate their interest and desire to go to this. We'll try to bring back a good report, and purpose of it is to go over the legislation that was just passed by the state legislature, so we have a better idea of what we're dealing with pertaining to the county. Amendments to the agenda, we'll move into that. With any other announcements, anybody else have anything else? Yes, Mr.
Brian Stover with Senator Hadley's conference.
We appreciate you being with us tonight, and anybody that'd like to bend his ear about something, just grab him and stand on his toe and don't let him get out the door after we get through. Any other announcements? Okay. On the agenda, we do have several appointments that we will take up when we get to appointments. We have Ethics Review Board, Planning Commission, Public Records Commission, and Resale Land Committee. When we get to that, we also have 4 notaries tonight for your approval at that time for the end of our meeting. We do have the resolution 2021-14-718, which we had on the agenda for Civic, a lease management agreement for them. So are there any other additions to our agenda? Mayor, do you have anything?
No, sir.
Okay. Amy, do you have anything? Okay. Commissioner, yes,
Move to approve the agenda as stated.
we have a motion to approve the agenda for these additional items. Mr. Harsh, second by Mr. Ford. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
It is done. Any opposed? Good, thank you. Got quite a few things on our agenda. My mind may be running ahead. You may have to rein me in sometimes tonight, but I'll try to stay with it as we have. Let's start off with the county mayor's report. Mayor?
We skipped some
I'm sorry. Citizens' response to agenda items. Anyone here, any citizens that would like to speak to any of the agenda items, any of the items on the agenda, we'd like for you to come up and sign in so we can call on you at the appropriate time. Now, those of you that are placing your name in for submission for the open commission seat, want me to sign in, we'll call on you at the proper time. But any member of the public like to speak to any of the agenda items? Seeing none, we'll move on. We will have a time at the end for public comment if somebody has something else that they want to say that's not on the agenda. County mayor's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just have a brief report tonight. The county pool will not be opening this summer. Unfortunately, that decision had been made earlier today. The reason is because staffing shortage. We only had a little less than half the staff we needed. needed 13 to 15 lifeguards, and currently have 5 with a maximum potential of 7. So, and there was also facing a chlorine shortage. The plant that manufactures it burned down and blew up a little bit earlier this year, so it's been possible getting chlorine. And our supplier had told us that other than what we've already reserved, there's no guarantee we're going to get any going forward this summer. So those two factors together, unfortunately, led us to cancel opening the pool this year. We looked at all kinds of different alternatives. It's just we didn't have staff sufficient to open the pool and provide a safe environment. On the American Rescue Funds, we've talked a little bit about that. Should we get a little bit more direction? I've been told by June 1st, and there's potential that Treasury will open up a listserv where you can ask questions, get official answers to kind of give you more guidance as we go forward. We're going to start to put together kind of, we want to call it a steering committee or a task force or something to look at options to spend those funds and make a decision, a recommendation to county commission about what's the best use of those funds to meet the items have been laid out by Congress and Treasury. The Comptroller's Office did release updated guidance from districting. These are not the numbers themselves for last year district, it's just the Comptroller's manual about how you need to go about redistricting and what you need to do. There is a requirement that you have a redistricting resolution saying that if you have a prison in your community that they do not count. However, that resolution was passed in 2016 when the prison, shortly after the prison opened up, so we do not need to do that resolution again, it's sufficient, so there's nothing we need to do on that front. And right now, currently, the guidance, the numbers for the census should be released on September 30th of this year. So a short turnaround for the redistricting committee, however, there should be a new system, electronic system this year to help speed that process up. Had some questions about both the multi-modal grant, which is the sidewalks going from where the streetscape ended up to the intersection where National Keys and Citizens Bank is, and also the local parks and recreation fund. That's what we submitted 88 improvements at the park. I have not heard back from either one of those. We had a rural planning organization meeting last week. Who is the organization that submitted the multi-modal grant for us? And they said it's going up the ladder at TDOT as far as who's going to be funded on those. We haven't heard anything back. There is one thing working in our favor is that we were the only multi-modal application submitted for our district, so that'll hopefully help us up there. If they can look at funding projects by district, hopefully that'll help us out. That's really all the report I have this evening. I can answer any questions on those, or if anybody has a question on any other item, I can go ahead and address that.
Anyone have any questions for the mayor? Commissioner? See none. Thank you, Mayor. Move into our committee reports. First, steering committee. Steering committee met on May 4th. We went over approved minutes from the April 6th meeting. The mayor gave us a report on the preliminary numbers from Johnson Controls regarding lighting and the park and windows here, some other things. We kind of went over what damage we had from the tornado. There was some concern that the tornado alarm did not go off. Trying to get that resolved, and Mayor, have anything you want to report on that?
Unfortunately, we've had trouble getting the vendor to come out. Director Beatty has been following up with him to see if he can come out and see what happened with that. And apparently, it's something in the software of the computer system that looks like it's malfunctioning.
We went over the budget hearing dates and began the budget hearing process. There was nothing that we saw that needed to be sent to committees for this month. We did discuss the open 5th District Commissioner seat. We do have 3 people that have expressed interest in that, and we will take that up shortly. We discussed some of the ongoing projects around town, sidewalks. Middle school roof project has been completed. Talked about the redistricting committee. I think Mr. Paxton plans for us to have an organizational meeting on it sometime later next month. Personnel policy being held up waiting on the wage study to get that information back so it can be incorporated with it. discussed the possibility of the election commission moving into the courthouse. We've been in discussions with them on that. Hopefully that will be resolved soon. Mr. King gave us an update on the Industrial Development Board on retail strategies out of Birmingham for the work they're going to be doing for us. And instead of trying to put together a pilot program, they've hired Rochelle and McCullough Halls to assist in putting that together for us. That was about it for steering. Did I miss anything, members that were in attendance? Okay. Parks and Rec met May 4th. Mr. Gregory's not here. Is anybody prepared to give a report for him?
We just, on that day, we just discussed opening of the full, the sign-on bonus, that they would be able to complete that. As long as they completed training, the season, and it would be paid at the end of the month, but due to the staffing, of course, that won't be going through. We do have another meeting that is scheduled for June 14th.
I think that's
Sorry, I
correct.
don't have those in front of me.
June 14th.
But, so that'll be our next, but that was the main discussion at the time.
Thank you. Thank you. Sir. Budget and finance. Of course, we've been in the middle of the budget hearings. Our regular May 17th Budget and Finance Committee meeting, we went over, reviewed the minutes from all of those meetings and approved them. Went over the county trustees report and the financial summary through April and approved them. Saw no anomalies, nothing that looked out of line. Looked like we're in really, really good shape for this time of year. We had several budget amendments that you have on here tonight. They were all approved to be sent forward to the full body. One in Urban Services Fund, one in the 116 Solid Waste Fund, and two, I believe, out of the 131 Highway Fund. We discussed the appropriations ordinance and tax levy. Did vote to approve all of those. Voted on the Urban Services tax levy subject to approval of the Urban Services Committee, which met later that week, and they did approve the tax levy as was presented in the budget. Any questions on budget and finance meeting or where we're at in this process? Seeing none. Economic development, Mr. Parrish.
Yes, we met on May 18th here at the courthouse. Mr. King spoke and he first talked to us about the retail strategies, and that the Industrial Development Board will be meeting May the 25th to review the work of retail strategies and move forward with a final draft so we could have a retail plan for Charleston County. Then Mr. King went on to explain the work done with the Industrial Development Board, as you mentioned earlier, with Rochelle, McCullough, and Alds and Younger and Associates on efforts to develop a pilot program for Charleston County. This would help put together incentives, tax breaks, cost offsets for businesses wanting to locate in Charleston County. Then the mayor, he spoke, he talked about the entrepreneurial development and that how that might possibly be funded through some of the American Rescue Plan. The mayor is also going to attend the Governor's Economic Development Conference that'll be held on August 5th, and he will come back and update the committee on what new information he finds out there. Ms. Knudsen then presented with the revamped 17-stop Civil War driving tour brochures, podcasts, and signs, and the chamber is going to be needing to funded to print more brochures in order to put them in rest areas around Tennessee. That would be a minimum of 500 per rest area. It was mentioned that that would be, that there would be funds to help with that. Ms. Knutson's going to get a cost figure and work with the mayor's office on that. Mr. King, then he announced a backpack program car show, and that will be August the 7th. And he says he will present the awards dressed as a donkey if they have more than 300 cars entered. Finally, the mayor spoke about the facade grant for 8 buildings in the downtown area that is forthcoming. He also mentioned the possibility of receiving more money there's got to be a max of 300,000 through the Tennessee Historic Development. And the county, the mayor told us, has bought seasonal holiday banners for the lamps and posts downtown, as well as an artificial Christmas tree for the courthouse lawn. In addition, there'll be signs for a selfie spot with the courthouse that would be changed regularly. And we adjourn.
Thank you.
Also wanted to mention on a different subject, the building committee will be meeting June the 17th at 6 o'clock in this building.
Buildings Committee, June 17th at 6 o'clock.
Yes.
Ms. Barr. Urban Services Council met on May 20th. Mr. Gregory is chairman. We have the 3 urban service representatives from the commission, Mr. Johnson and Mr. Noller and Mr. Gregory and myself were in attendance. We went over the 111 budget, approved it, and voted to set the urban services tax rate the same as last year at 0.8753. Did I miss anything? Any questions on that? All right, are there any other committee reports or announcements for dates for committee meetings that you'd like to make known now? Seeing none, we'll move on. Next on our agenda is item 11, commissioner selection for District 5. We've had 3 people. You have a sheet with their names on it, so you can make some notes as needed. It's 3 people that have filled out the paperwork and have been checked out as meeting qualifications for this office. What we're going to do tonight is give each one of them about 5 minutes to introduce themselves, tell us why they would like the position. At the end of that, if there's time, any of the commissioners that would like to ask a question of them, we will allow questions from the commission, not from the audience, but from the commission. Anyone right now, we have Kayla Moore, Sarah Murray, and Rick Davis are the 3 individuals that we would like to place their name in nomination at this time. Are there any other nominations from the commission? Any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? I would entertain a motion that all 3 of these people be nominated and that we proceed. Ms. Jones makes the nomination or motion and Mr. Clarity seconds it. We will, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. We will do a roll call vote after they get through speaking. Ms. Rita will do a roll call. You will state the name of the person that you wish. And we must have a majority of the ones that are present for anyone to win. If we don't have a clear majority on the first go round, then we will take the 2 top vote getters and we will vote again. If we have a 3-way tie, we will vote again. So we'll kind of deal with it as we go. I'm going to take these in the order that we received them in. Kayla Moore, Kayla, I'd like for you to go first. and Sarah, you'll go second, and Rick, you can go third. We would like for you to come up to this microphone right here, if you would be so good to do that. Let me guess, Kayla's not here. Hard to get elected when you don't show up. Did we receive anything from her withdrawing? Amy, Mayor, I did. Okay. Have no idea why she's not here. I guess she decided she didn't want to do it. I guess we'll jump down to Sarah Murray. I know she's here.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Chairman, and fellow commissioners, my name is Sarah Murray, and I'd like to thank you for considering me in the fifth district. I want to start out by saying all the things that I think anyone would say. I grew up here, I've lived here for over 20 years. I can also tell you that I own a small business, and all of these things are true. But what really matters is the decisions that are made here and thinking through that. Because the decisions made tonight, next month, and in the months that follow affect this community that we love so much years to come. The decisions that we make here, that you all make and have made over the past several months, are the decisions that tomorrow will continue to affect us. Are we providing enough money for our fire, our police, our EMS, our school systems? Our community is growing, and we have to pay attention. And that's why I believe we should choose me for fifth district.
Anyone have a question for Sarah? Sarah?
So you're on your own business. What is that?
I own a dance studio.
Did you?
It is at the ward school.
Any other questions? Thank you. We really do appreciate your interest in this. Thank you so much. Rick Davis, I believe he's here. But I know you're kind of bashful, but don't be bashful.
Try to make myself. First off, Rick Davis, live at 9800 Highway 231. Beth Page here, lived here for about 14 years now. First off, thank you for everything that you guys do, and ladies, everyone that's holding a seat here in the county. I know it's a thankless position a lot of times, but we do appreciate everything that you all do, especially Sheriff as well. So just a couple things I'll say about my family, a little bit about myself, and then tell you why I'm interested in this position. So married for 30 years, my family happens to be here with me. I thank you for coming. My wife, Christine Davis, and she works for Star Distributing out of Nashville. She's been able to work from our home for about the last 4 years now, which is great. She don't have to drive in Nashville traffic quite as often, but every now and then. And I have two boys. My oldest one, Chad, 25, that graduated here from Hartsville and finished his degree with MTSU, and now works for Bridgestone, the corporate office down in Nashville. And then my youngest son, Chase, is 21, will be a senior next year with MTSU. He also graduated here from Hartsville, and he works for Discount Tire, has worked for Discount Tire ever since he's been in high school here. So very proud of my family. Those two beautiful young ladies are sitting with them, hang around with them. I don't know exactly why, but they do. They're very lucky for that. And just about myself, born and raised in Georgia. My dad worked for General Motors. We wound up moving to Michigan when I was 15. Went through high school there, graduated high school, and joined the Marine Corps. Spent about a little over 4 years in the Marine Corps. They didn't let me out right when I was supposed to, because Desert Storm happened to be going on at that time, so we had to wait till that was finished. And I was meritoriously promoted 4 times while I was in the Marine Corps. Very blessed to have been able to do that, serve. And then when I got out, I started working for the food industry and manufacturing. And I've pretty much done that for about the last 28 years. Been working for Ridge Products for the last 20 years. And that's what brought us to this area. living in Michigan for a while, Georgia for born and raised. Too hot down there, too cold in Michigan. I knew if I could ever get to Tennessee or Kentucky, I'd be pretty happy, and I am. So I actually worked for Rich Products when I was offered to come and run the Byron's barbecue facility right here in Gallatin. And that's what got us to purchase our home here. We were looking for a small community. That's what we're used to, where we came from, what interests us. And so that's what, when we purchased here. I worked for them for about a year, almost a year and a half. And they offered me the chance to run their largest facility, which is in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. I told them I'd be interested in doing that for them and for myself and my family, as long as I didn't have to move. Because in a year and a half, we were very happy with being here, where we live. We were very excited about the schools, what was going on, and what we had saw. So I drive back and forth about an hour every day there, an hour home, and have no plans to move. Hopefully, I get to retire with Rich Products out of Murfreesboro. So when this opportunity approached me, it's not something that's been on my radar, not something I've been thinking about, not something I was, put my name in the hat for, I guess, coming up. But the opportunity approached me. I started praying about it, and it seemed to be something that I think that I'd be interested in, and I believe my experience, hopefully, and just common sense attitude can maybe help with the county decisions, and with obviously the fifth district and our citizens out there, making sure I represent them. So if I get your vote, outstanding. If you feel like that I can help, and if not, there'll be no hard feelings at all. I understand. So, any questions for me?
So Rich Foods, you are plant manager?
I am. I'm a plant manager there. I've been a plant manager for them now for about 16 years. This is the fourth plant that I've got to run. So I have a team. We're about 350 people there. It's about 600,000 square foot, and manage a operating budget probably a little over 30 million.
And you're no stranger to looking at budget figures.
I do, and we're getting ready to do ours. That doesn't mean I really enjoy that part of the job, but yes.
Commissioners, y'all have any questions, Mr. Davis?
I do, Mr. Davis.
Yes, sir.
Shane Burton is good too. Any problems with meeting times? 6 p.m., 7 p.m.?
Absolutely not. No, so that's one of the things that I make sure I talk about for a while and thought about. Obviously, my out of work time is pretty precious to me, but looking at the meeting times, as well as I know there's committees that I probably will be sitting on, it's not going to be a problem. I do have 10 managers that work for me there and report to the plant, to run the plant, so I'm able to get away when I need to. Yes, sir.
Any other questions, Commissioner? All right, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate your interest. Okay, did Ms. Moore come in? Don't see her. So we have Sarah Murray and Richard Davis. I guess, Ms. Rita, whenever you're ready to call the roll, we will see if we can get on with it.
Beverly Atwood. Richard Davis. Ken Zolmaster.
Richard Davis.
Shane Burton.
Richard Davis.
Gary Clary.
Richard Davis.
Floyd Dickey.
Richard Davis. Yes.
Bill Ferguson.
Richard Davis.
Gary Ford.
Richard Davis.
Bubba Gregory. Richard Hart.
Richard Davis.
White Jewel.
Richard Davis.
Richard Johnson. Richard Davis. Rachel Jones. Mr. Davis. David Nolan.
Richard Davis.
Amber Russell. Richard Davis. Lonnie Taylor.
Richard Davis.
Gary Walsh. Steve Whitaker.
Richard Davis.
Well, I believe that's a majority. Mr. Davis, congratulations. If you would come up, we will. Sarah, Mayor, thank you so much for your interest in it. We appreciate your desire to serve. And you want to. Anybody know a joke other than that? No. Yes.
I know when we vote this, we can't do it secretly, or is there a method we can use to where the votes start coming out? This time there's no wish, but sway somebody vote based on where else is voting.
Well, hopefully when we get our new voting machine, I don't know how we will handle that if this comes up in the future.
So you vote, and then
Uh,
everybody sees the voting on top of the results.
It's pretty not in keep with the intent of the state statute that it cannot be a secret.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
So, don't know how we can do it any other way. What we've done in times past is hang the vote, people's names, and spread them on the minutes. Felt like that is not going to be. No, we don't. You don't remember Mr. Day, she forgot to swear him in. So if you would, go ahead and sit in on our meeting and go by Miss Rita's office when. Google it later.
Yeah, I want to hear her read it. Especially now.
I think I can do it. Dearly beloved, we are. Oh, that's the other thing. I get a little muddled sometimes.
They did have it online.
Oh. It's on, we'll give it back.
Well, it's efficient.
Where's it at? Oh, my word.
There's a oaths of office for Tennessee. So the county commissioners may use this one.
I think we got it here.
Oh,
He's got it.
Mayor got it.
We're good.
Everybody's got it except Miss Rita.
Okay.
Get my glasses.
All right, you're ready.
Yes, ma'am.
You raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will perform with fidelity the duties
that I will perform with fidelity the duties
of the office to which I've been elected,
of the office of which I've been elected
and which I'm about to assume.
and which I'm about to assume.
I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
to support the constitutions of Tennessee
to support the constitutions of Tennessee
and the United States,
and the United States,
and to faithfully perform the duties of the office
and faithfully perform the duties of the office
of County Commissioner
of County Commissioner
representing the fifth district
representing the 5th District
of Travis County, Tennessee.
of Trousdale County, Tennessee.
If you don't mind, swing by one day when you have time and sign it. Or I'll have one ready for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Move into active business. Appointments. The mayor is, look at this. You got this on your desk. Appointments. Ethics Review Board, Mary Ann Baker. Planning Commission reappointments, David Thomas and Mark Swaffer for 4-year terms. Public Records Commission, Mr. Jerry Ford. And that will correspond with his commissioner term, which will end August of next year. Resale of Land Committee, Mr. Lonnie Taylor. That's the appointments that the mayor has put forward. We have a motion to approve Mr. Walsh makes a motion,
I'll second.
and Ms. Atwood seconds. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It is done. Appreciate all of y'all willingness to serve. Next, we'll move into resolutions. First resolution for your consideration tonight is Resolution 2021-13-717. This is a resolution to adopt the county road list provided by the highway.
Move to approve the resolution of the county naming of the roads.
Mr. Parks has made the motion. Ms. Jones makes the second to approve the county road list, resolution 2021-13-717. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that is done. Next, we have resolution 2021-14-718. This is the core civic contract approval. Original contract is for 5 years. This is another 5-year contract that we've entered into with core civic in the state. Wording, Mr. Beller and the mayor have worked on it at length. We have went over it very well. The only thing that's really any different is that on an annual basis, beginning July 1st, 2021, and each July 1st, core civic shall pay county an administrative fee of $300,000. This fee will be paid in lump sum each year and covers the contract year that begins on July 1st. Yes. One thing. Also, when we approve this resolution, in your motion, please make the motion that giving the mayor the authority to execute this document. Okay. Mr.
I
Fuller.
make the motion to approve it and give the mayor the authority to execute the document and so stipulated to us, 300,000.
Have a motion and second by Mr. Taylor. Are there any discussion about it? Mr. Wall.
What is the $300,000 going to, or how you distribute that?
My suggestion was you put it into, right now, it'd be 151, because when the new jail comes along, I would suggest we pay that, or possibly whatever we do on the wheel tax, if you're gonna redo that. That should get you roughly $800,000 a year to pay on a new jail facility. And I will just ask that, everyone keep in mind, you're actually approving 2 contracts, the one with CCA, but also the one with the state. So if you don't approve the one with the state, also the one with CCA. We gotta have that.
So I think it's exactly where this will be parked, will be decided by budget and finance.
Yes, sir, it's just my recommendation would be to put it for the use of the funds from the jail. I would highly recommend that.
Mr. Claire?
What all is this 300,000 cover? Land tax?
No,
No,
this is addition. It's an administrative fee.
No water, nothing.
No. Above and beyond what we've been getting. Yes, sir.
What prompted it?
Negotiation.
Yeah, we just went back into negotiations, felt like we needed it, felt like we should have gotten it to begin with, we didn't. The lowering of property tax, we lost well over $200,000 in the reappraisal. So it was a way to try to get back some of that money. Does that answer?
Yeah,
That answered pretty well, Mayor?
And there's also some administrative things have to be done for
Sure.
the mayor's office, keeping count. And then there's been some unexpected costs for other departments as well that just kind of dealing with having prison here. So all those things kind of in concert. There was a request from the prison relations committee to look at adding an administrative fee to that. Negotiate report civic, and this is the amount we can.
Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
I have a question, since we're talking about jails and prisons, the American Rescue Plan, we're going to release the funds for, any thought of that going to the new jail?
That's about a $20 million jail. If you use all of that, well, then you don't have any funds for small business development, you don't have any funds for a lot of other things. Could be used for substance abuse, could be used for job training for people that are currently unemployed. That's something we're seriously want to look at. So given that the jail is going to be very late in the lifespan of the American Rescue Fund, I would suggest we look at other uses for the American Rescue Fund and focus on some of these other things that we're going to have a steering committee look at.
But I heard you say the will tax pay for the jail.
You know, I said, you have considered redoing the well tax. That's going to be a decision of the county commission. You can pass a will tax, a new will tax, not an extension of the current. You can pass a new will tax either yourselves or you can submit it to a resolution. My suggestion is if you're going to do a will tax, you pair that with this administrative fee, because that's probably over $800,000 that you can pay on a new jail. That is going to be at least $20 million in my estimate. It's more likely going to be above that, so we're going to have to buy land and build it.
Right now, what we have before us has nothing to do with the wheel tax, has nothing to do with the jail.
I just,
Yeah. I know.
you mentioned it first, so that's not our question. The American Rescue.
I just don't want everyone else to be confused that that's possibly what we're doing with this. It has not been decided where this 300,000 will be spent, where it will be needed. That will be taken up by budget and finance. Certainly the mayor's recommendation is going to come into play. The wheel tax is an issue that we've had many discussions about, and we'll have many more discussions about in the very near future, I'm sure. But right now, what we have before us is to approve the two contracts. Yes, ma'am.
But I do have one more question. The American Rescue Plan, we're having to decide where it goes.
Well, we're going to have a steering committee that's going to look at all the potential uses that Treasury has laid out, plus some of the other things. Come up with recommendations, then it's got to come to the county commission for the first to budget and finance, because it's going to have to be allocating those funds, and then to the county commission. So ultimately, the decision is going to be made by the county commission. However, we're going to put together, working with this committee and various groups, like I've talked to the Greater Nashville Regional Council about coming up with a loan program that they would oversee to help small businesses. We're looking at a potential job training program. Anybody that's unemployed due to the pandemic, get job training. Right now, we seem to be developing a niche for welders and fabricators inside the community. We've got at least 3 right now, but we're looking for employees, and maybe we can do job training assistance and get them hired for there. So there's a lot of different things we can use these funds for, but the comptroller's suggestion was put together a group, look at all your data, determine what is the best use for those funds, and then try to use it for those purposes. And I said, ultimately, the county commission will have to go on that.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Yes, sir. Okay. It's called for the question. The motion was to approve the contract with Fort Civic and the state and to allow the mayor to execute the documents to do that. Do we need to do this by roll call? Any reason that we need to?
Does that not need to be with TDOC?
It needs to be both the TDOC contract and the Fort Civic contract.
Fort Civic be the state, TDOC, the state.
Doing them together.
Let's just vote on both of them together. Everybody understands what we're doing. Let's just vote by a show of hands. All in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay, any opposed? It is unanimous. That is one. Thank you. Appreciate it. Next, we will we'll move into ordinances. I believe that's all resolution. Move into ordinances. We have public hearing tonight on ordinance 214-2021-05. This is an ordinance to amend Article 5, Section 5.020 of the zoning ordinance rezoning a portion or parcel of land that's identified as 00504, tax map 019, from C2 to R2, a portion of that property. We will open the public hearing. Is there anyone here that would speak to this? Had no one signing in? Mr. Walsh? Have any motion to close the public hearing? Mr. Parrish, make a second. Okay. All in favor of closing the public hearing, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. It is done. Okay. Next, public hearing is ordinance 215-2021-06. This is rezoning a parcel of land.
You want to vote?
I think that's a vote on the hook, line, and ordinance. Close public hearing.
You missed the second reading.
I was gonna do all the public hearings and then go back and do the ordinance on the second reading.
Yeah.
That's the way you have it on your agenda.
I think.
If you were looking for the agenda. Oh, somebody want to speak? Which one?
Can you, after you guys speak, kind of
Okay. What this person speak to? What agenda item? Mr. Figman, which agenda item would you want to speak?
Public record stuff in this town.
The thing on our agenda, one of our agenda items, is that what you want to speak to, or you want to just make general comment? Okay, we will do that at the end. We'll also talk the public comments then. Okay, just don't let me get by you. Okay. All right. All right. I want to take the public hearings first, then we will move into the ordinance. Public hearing ordinance 215-2021-06. This is rezoning of parcel land R2 to C1 up on West Main up here above the post office. If we have anyone signed in to speak to it, anyone like to speak to this? Seeing none. Mr. Walsh. Have a motion to close the public hearing. Ms. Russell gets a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Say no. No. Close the public hearing. Next is public hearing on ordinance 216-2021-07. This is rezoning request A1 to C1 on Highway 231 South. This is establishing a commercial lot in between two other commercial lots. Ms. Russell.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, sorry.
We have anyone signed in to speak to this?
I didn't speak on the order.
Okay. Okay, thank you for being here. If we have any questions, we'll be sure to get to you. Any questions for the owner? Okay, any other comments? Have a motion? Mr. Walsh? Motion to close the public hearing. Ms. Russell makes a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. We are through with the public hearing. Next, we will take up the second reading on these ordinances. First is ordinance 214-2021-05. This is rezoning C2 portion of it to C2 R2 combination here on McMurray. Will of the body, Ms. Atwood. Have a motion to approve. Mr. Taylor grabs a second. Any discussion on this? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, it is done. Next is ordinance 215-2021-06. This is rezoning R2 to C1 on West Main up above the post office. Will of the body. Mr. Hart.
Move to approve.
And a motion to favor, it's the second. Any, seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It is done. Next, on second reading, ordinance 216-2021-07. This is rezoning request pavement on Highway 231 South. Mr. Flaherty. And Mr. Ford gets a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It is done. And we'll move into first readings. First is ordinance 2021-08. This is our fiscal year 2022 budget appropriations for general services. This was approved by budget body. Mr. Harsh,
Move to approve.
have a motion to approve. Mr. Dickey makes a second. Any discussion on it? Any discussion? Okay. Seeing none. Let's do the roll call on all these budgets. Now, when you vote, if you are an employee or your spouse or immediate family is an employee, please remember to read your conflict of interest statement or abstain from voting.
Yes.
Mary Ann Baker,
Yes.
James O'Haster,
Yes.
Shane Burton,
Marie, because my wife and I are both employees of Hartsville, Trousdale County, I have a conflict of interest concerning the budget ordinances being voted on during tonight's meeting. However, I declare that my argument and my vote answer only to my conscience and to my obligation to my constituents and citizens this body represents. Yes.
Jerry Flaherty,
Yes.
Troy Dickey,
Yes.
Bill Ferguson,
Yes.
Jerry Ford,
Yes.
Hart,
Yes.
White Hill,
Yes.
Richard Johnson, yes. Richard Jones? Yes. David Narmer,
Yes.
Amber Russell,
Because I am an employee of Hartsville, Charleston County, I have a conflict of interest concerning the budget ordinance being voted on during tonight's meeting. However, I declare that my argument and my vote answer only to my conscience and to my obligation to my constituents and as citizens this body represents. Yes.
Bonnie Taylor,
Yes.
Gary Walsh,
Yes.
Steve Whitaker,
Because I'm the board of Hartsville, County, I have a conflict of interest concerning the budget ordinance being voted on during tonight's meeting. I would like to declare that my argument and my vote answer only to my conscience, my obligation, and citizens this body represents.
Richard Davis.
Yes.
It is done. Next is ordinance 2/18/2021-09, the fiscal year 2022. This is the tax levy for general services district. The proposed rate shall be the same as last year or this year. That shall be set at 2.4388 on $100 of tangible property, same as last year. Mr. Flaherty,
Motion to approve.
have a motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Harsh, make a second. You have a motion and a second to approve the tax rate of 2.4388. Any questions? Mr. Flaherty made the motion. Mr. Harsh made the second. Any other discussion? Call the roll when you're ready.
Beverly Apple,
Yes.
Mary Ann Baker,
Yes.
Jim Buckmaster,
Yes.
Shane Burton,
Yes.
Gary Flaherty,
Yes.
Troy Dickey,
Yes.
Bill Ferguson,
Yes.
Jerry Ford,
Yes.
Richard Hart,
Yes.
White Hill,
Yes.
Richard Johnson, Richard Jones. Yes. David Narmer,
Yes.
Amber Russell,
Yes.
Bonnie Taylor,
Yes.
Gary Walsh,
Yes.
Steve Whitaker,
Yes.
Richard Davis.
Yes.
Yes, two absent.
It is done. Next, we have, ordinance 2021-10, fiscal year 2022 budget appropriations in the urban services district. Will invite. Ms. Baker,
I'll make a motion to approve it.
have a motion to approve, a second by Mr. Walsh. Ms. Baker makes the motion, Mr. Walsh makes the second. Any discussion or question? Seeing none, hearing none, Ms. Rita, whenever you're ready.
Beverly Atwood,
Yes.
Mary Ann Baker. Yes. Ken Buckmaster.
Yes.
Shane Burton,
Yes.
Terry Clary,
Yes.
Roy Hickey,
Yes.
Bill Ferguson,
Yes.
Jerry Ford,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Dwight Hill,
Yes.
Richard Johnson, Rachel Dunn,
Yes.
David Moller,
Yes.
Amber Russell. Yes. Lonnie Taylor,
Yes.
Gary Walsh,
Yes.
Steve Whitaker,
Yes.
Richard Davis.
Yes.
It is done. Next is ordinance 2021-11. This is for fiscal year 2022. This is the tax levy for urban services. The amount approved by the Urban Services Commission was 0.8753. That's what's presented to you tonight. Have a motion by Mr. Knoll, or second by Mr. Johnson. Okay. Any discussion? Motion by Mr. Knoll, or second by Mr. Johnson.
Richard Johnson,
Yes.
David Moller.
Yes.
Yes.
Got a question.
Yes.
On ordinance 08, budget appropriation. Yeah, even though there's even conflict, 10 is still budget appropriation. What's the difference here? Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, next month, we have to have 3 readings on these. We can take up the second and third reading the same night. We'll have to have a motion to do that, and that motion will have to pass by 2/3 majority to be able to entertain both of them that night. We will look for that motion first, and then we will try to dispense with budget next month for the second and third reading. That's what you want to do. Next, let's move into budget amendments. First one is in our 111 Urban Services Fund. This is 2021-11102, $8,000 for trash bins. We are really depleted on our number of trash bins because of growth. Wanting to order a substantial amount of them in next budget year. It's actually a line item in what you just approved. But we're afraid we may need some before then, so this is kind of an emergency situation to go ahead and get a few on order. Motion by Mr. Ford to approve, and a second by Mr. Taylor. Ford makes the motion, and Mr. Taylor makes the second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that one is done. 116 Solid Waste Fund, 2021-11603. Afraid we may run a little tight in disposal fees. Just trying to put a little extra money in that account. And what?
I'm going to excuse myself.
Oh,
I've interrupted your meeting enough tonight, so
okay.
I'm just going to
Okay.
step out the back. I'll just be out back right here.
You're All right, thank you. This is, If we don't need this money, it's just gonna roll right back into fund balance. It's just in case this is one of those things at the end of the year, we have to sometimes juggle some monies around so that we don't exceed the budget categories. All right, Mr. Ferguson. Have a motion to approve. Mr. Dickey gets a second. Any discussion? Motion by Mr. Ferguson, second by Mr. Dickey. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that one is done. Okay, next. We have two out of Highway 131 fund. First one is some insurance recovery for this money has come back in for some accidents they had, putting it into vehicle maintenance to take care of the cost incurred because of the accidents. The other is to correct some line items. Most of them are minor moves. We've tried to ask the departments, if you know you're going to need some things, go ahead and get them in so we don't have so many on the last month, trying to get ahead of this a little bit. That's why we have that tonight. Ms. Park?
Move to approve both of those budget amendments.
We have a motion to approve 2021-13103, 2021-13104. Ms. Jones?
Second.
Have a second. Have a motion by Mr. Harsh and a second by Ms. Jones. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Notaries. We have. Let's read if I get these wrong. Tell me, I'm gonna read it right. Michelle Key with Trouser County Veterinary Services. Robert A. Carl with Core Civic. Teresa Creasy with Core Civic. Vanessa Ellis with Wilson Bank and Trust.
Make a motion approved.
Have a motion by Mr. Ford to approve, second by Ms. Russell. Any discussion on any of these people? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Don't see any.
I have one question, Mr. Chairman.
Sir,
On that 8,000, what we are getting those canisters, do we need a roll call on that since we're spending? money?
no, it's coming out of one budget line item.
As
into
long as it's
another.
coming out of budget, you're right.
It's not coming out of fund balance. Okay. Any other business, commissioners, mayor, do you have any other business?
I just should have put in the record before to let everybody know, the new audio visual system should be in next commission meeting, so.
That would be good. Appreciate y'all finding your seats tonight. I hope you're happy with them. I'm happy with them. I can see everybody very well. So, any other business, commissioners? Okay, comes to time in our agenda for public comment. Have one person that would like to speak tonight. That was Mr. Jerry Sixten. Jerry, we give you typically 3 minutes. You would come up to the microphone so everyone can hear you, and the mic yours, floor yours.
I just want to let people of Trousdale County know I have a piece of commercial property in a place for $33 a square foot. One of the highest value commercial properties in Trousdale County. I've tried several times to give it away. But I'm going to tell you, I won't give it to anyone, sign a quick claim, free of charge. There are a few easy conditions that require any serious money. We can argue about who will pay the taxes on it. But there will be some public record requests. Of course, County Attorney Feller disagrees that those records are public. So do the courts also. But it's very simple. If anybody wants it, in fact, that property should actually generate revenue if the county owes the owner. So, does anybody have any questions?
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Okay, well, and thank the people of this county for spending millions of dollars to prosecute me at this court. Free trial here ever, and nobody can have the as much sentencing as that. I was kidnapped last summer. And called me in the Robinson County Jail for twice as long as I would have been in the workhouse in Charleston County. Even if the charge wasn't bogus, but I'm impressed.
Thank you. Commissioner, any questions for Mr. Pickens? Seeing none. Ms. Wall,
Make a motion to adjourn.
we have a motion to adjourn. All in favor? Next meeting, work session will be June 21st, next commission meeting, June 28th.
We're gonna meet next Tuesday night too, not tomorrow night, the next night.